Hello, greetings, and welcome back to the BFC, where we go into the trenches of the trading world. Do me a favor, smash that like button. We already have almost 100 of you here. Smash that like button. Seriously, just do it. Listen, before we get into it with our guest, who I'm very excited about, I got to say, and I got to give a huge shout out to ticker GRPS CEO Adam Thomas and TAA held true to their word and delivered me 3 pounds of their high quality shrimp. We'll be releasing a video next week reviewing the product, and Wayward and I are looking forward to giving an honest review. So be sure to be on the lookout for that video. I'm absolutely stoked. So yeah, shout out to you, Adam. Great job, and I can't wait to try your product. Man, it's good. I love doing a good review video, and I've only done a couple. I did one for CGRA. I have one on deck for Blag, which is pretty cool, and just very, very excited. How are you guys doing tonight? I hope you're having a great night. I'm having a great day. It's been quite a week, but listen, this is for you. So make sure you put your questions and comments in the chat. I want to see some really good questions for Mr. Brett Rosen today. So speaking of which, today's guest is no stranger to the OTC or Buffalo Winters, that's for sure. And he's become one of the BFC's regular guests. Please welcome Mr. Brett Rosen. Bring him in. Mr. Brett Rosen, hey. Welcome to the BFC. How you doing?
Once again, happy to be here as always.
How many times have you been on this show? I got to say, like, it's you and Jordan, like, up. You guys are up there.
Yeah, I've been on it. It's like a while. I mean, it's got to be like at least 5 or 6 now, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Actually, you were my second guest in regards to interviews and doing CEO interviews and stuff. And I remember back when Mark Schmidt was on. And that was the second interview after the ILUS interview with JP Backwell.
Yeah.
It's sort of ironic that we have Bing Bang Boom back to back, you and JP tomorrow. And if you guys haven't heard him, having JP back on tomorrow, so be on the lookout for the video. It's gonna be awesome. Right. So let's get into it. Rob, if you just want to highlight some good questions for him, and so let's talk about Opti first. I know that's one that people have really been focused on. How are things going with Opti, and what's new?
So, I mean, Opti, a lot of stuff has happened recently. I got some really good news from the lawyer today. Mark Basile, our attorney, called, and he said that we're about 2 to 3 weeks away from getting the receivership thing all online and done. Okay, so with the courts, meaning like actually done, not like, it'll be filed next week, and then it takes the courts maybe a week or two to like go over it, because they know that they have to preserve assets, so it happens quickly. So, which is like cool. So we're like, as you say, less than a month out from full everything of Optech. So basically, the little disclaimer: right now, I am not a control person of Optech. I am not on the board of directors. I am not the CEO of Optech. I am just going to be the person that they name as the interim CEO of the company, most likely when the receiver comes in, or when the receiver appoints me, and then essentially that's all that I'm doing. It's RB Capital and me giving out this information isn't on behalf of Optech, just so everybody knows that.
Right on. We get the disclaimer, Brett. I get it.
Hey, I mean, I feel like Ronan Kitty over here. I gotta like.
Rule number 1: guard your ass.
Yeah, right.
Seriously. So when you do become the oh my God, I can't think of the word. Receiver. Okay. What is the timeline, would you say, to where you get CEO status?
Oh, no, like immediately. So the receiver just appoints me as interim CEO. So I would probably do something like a 90-day contract.
Okay.
Where like I stay the CEO for 90 days. I'll clean up all the crap. I'll pay for everything. I'll do everything. You know what I mean? Get the new company all merged in there properly. Step down, step off the board. You know what I mean? And then, walk away, basically. I mean, not walk away. You know what I'm saying? Like let them take over.
So you're saying 90 days. So is it fair to say that you think that the acquisition, I know you were looking at 4, one was sort of poo-poo, but it's 90 days fair to say that the acquisition that is going to be rolled into ticker symbol OPTI is going to be completed?
Oh, yeah. It would definitely be done in less than the 90 days. I'm just saying, so like 90 days would be like the employment contract, most likely, because that's usually what they are for interim CEO, 60 to 90 days. So, I mean, I would just leave it like that, and then let them come in and do, whatever they're going to do, make their own board, do their, It wouldn't. I mean, yeah. I wouldn't be on the board or anything. I would just step back completely from and let them run their business. The whole thing I'm trying to do is bring in a solid company. Okay, so I can't really tell you the names of any of these companies. I mean, whatever. But I have it narrowed down to a couple companies right now. The only thing is they don't have tons of revenue, which is the problem. But they are like very promising tech companies. Each one of them is a tech company. One of them won't be cash flow positive for about like 9 to 12 months. But the technology is pretty impressive, and it's like super easily monetized on like tons of different platforms. And it's pretty cutting edge stuff. The other one is a company that I invested in. It's a private company. It's not a public company. I invested in them like a few years ago. I put 600 grand in at a $30 million valuation. And and since then, the company has raised money at $300 million and a $1 billion valuation.
What?
It's like a huge, it's a super tech thing with like, I don't even know. It's like a way to connect. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know exactly what I can say. Sorry. It's basically a, I don't want to say a better internet, but it's like a revised, like safer internet, so to speak.
So you're buying Starlink?
Yes. No.
Yeah, I just totally threw a Elon Musk thing in there. No, I mean, okay. So tell us about the third. Those are two. What about the other ones?
The third one, like they just, like I said, remember when I told you before, it's really, really hard to get someone to step in and owe me $14.68 million. Okay. Mm-hmm. So like they couldn't get their board of directors to essentially like agree to that, even though like, and it's weird because like they wouldn't let me talk to them, which is also kind of bullshit because like usually like I get to plead my case. Okay. Like I go on a Zoom call or some nonsense call, like whatever. And it's like, hey, look, this is what's going on. Can we make this happen? But like, no, it was all like telephone game. Like I told someone who told someone who told someone. I mean, and you know how that works. I mean, it never ever, everything's lost in translation,
Mm. So I take it you're definitely looking forward to becoming CEO and then relinquishing your rights to the incoming company, so you could go back to being a shareholder again, correct?
Well, yeah. I mean, I already am a huge shareholder. I mean, I already have tons of shares of Opti. But remember, like when I become the interim CEO, I become an affiliate, so I can't sell them anyway. Okay. Yeah. And then even for 90 days after I step down, I can't sell them still. So it's like you figure you're looking like I could never sell any of my stock for at least 180 days. That would be like the bare dead ass minimum.
Wow. Excellent.
I mean, it's like how people are blaming it all. Like the it goes down a little bit on there. Everyone's blaming it on me now. Like I didn't sell a single share.
They won't be able to.
I haven't sold a single share in years of Optech. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this same pattern plays out all the time on the OTC markets. People get wind of a company's pivoting and it's turning into something else, or a new company's merging in. And then everybody buys it for a few days and it hypes up and like it gets on the message boards and then the price goes up. And then the crypto culture catches in. All you fucking millennials who like literally can't wait more than 5 minutes for something to happen. And then like if the stock hasn't doubled, if you buy it on Monday and the stock hasn't doubled by Thursday, the company's a scam and everybody just sells their stock. So the thing is like, with Optech, people just got bored. They just got impatient and sold. Like, and then remember, like it goes down 10%, 20%, and people's stop loss orders kick in. I mean, I'm not trading works. I mean, everybody does,
and then that it's like the class of 20 and 21 of new traders. 99% are in and out within 3 hours. Just based on the mood. But I mean, that's the nice thing to Brian Abbott. Effing millennials. I just want to state for the record. Everybody says I'm millennial. I'm sort of caught in between that gap generation of Generation X and millennials. So I think there's an overlay of a generation. So I'm not going to take blame for that, Brett.
Okay.
You should see my crypto bags. I ain't sold none.
Okay. All right. I'll take your word for it.
No, I wasn't one of those people that sold Dogecoin when SNL happened and Elon Musk hosted. I remember when that happened. It's funny you mentioned the crypto thing.
Was funny.
That was definitely funny because if you weren't awake and you woke up the next day, your wallet crashed. But
yeah, I know, right?
All right, let's get to some questions here because that's what we're here for. All right, Cody. Once Brett becomes the interim CEO, would that be when we see the buybacks occur?
No. The interim CEO is me just cleaning everything up because I can do it the fastest without the typical OTC CEO just futzing around through the whole thing and like taking forever. I'll just get it done right away. So buybacks, like in all seriousness, are going to come from the new company. So like, for example, X amount of money will be set aside every month or out of revenue for that. But then it'll essentially it's basically as I get paid back my money, or like the debt that I'm owed from the company, I'm basically agreeing to like reinvest a portion or like a pretty good percentage of it for the stock buyback. Do you know what I mean? So that's where it'll come from. So in all seriousness, a stock buyback is like nine. Like a year, like a year away. You're looking at Q1 of 2025, just to be honest with you. But there won't be a reverse split. There'll be, companies coming, a new company coming in, and then they'll do it all with preferred stock. So they won't have to they won't issue any. There'll be no issuances of the outstanding. They'll just transfer the voting rights.
Mm-hmm. So it's not happening next week, Cody. All right.
Yeah, it's happening tomorrow.
Good question. All right, Videorific. There are a lot of rumors out there about Opti and Roger are currently under investigation for fraud. Does Brett have any knowledge of that?
I've heard the same rumors. Roger's most likely in hiding somewhere. Do I think that these people get away with this shit all the time and it sucks. Okay. Like, it's like they only want to get involved if the dollar amount's really high. But like the thing is this, it's tens of thousands of people here lost like little bits of money. And I guess that doesn't matter. It only matters if one person loses millions or tens of millions, So okay. Do I think it's true? I think that people have complained a lot. I think there's been a lot of like complaints or whatever sent to the SEC, sent to the FBI, whatever the fuck. And I believe they probably looked into Roger because I believe, they have to. You get 100 people call you. You have to look into it. You know what I'm saying? So, but do I think they're under investigation? Like, who knows? How would I know?
Yeah, who knows? I guess I did research. Like, I feel like he opened up another company in California, and I might be wrong. Just continuing on with that business. I'd have to look more into that. That's a little digging that I did, but I'd have to confirm that. Because if that's the case, buyer beware. Oh, Chris, 778, the biggest Bills fan ever. Chris, good to have you. Would you join the board of directors when the new company comes in?
Probably not, just because, in all seriousness, it's because I'm going to want to sell my stock. I'm just being honest with you guys. That's how I'm going to get my investment back. So, look, I'm not going to dump $14 million of stock into the market. But what I mean is, look, if a stock is trading like $500,000 a day, let's just say that, and I sell $10,000 or $20,000 a day. Yes, it sounds like a lot of stock, but it's such a tiny percentage of the trading that it has no bearing on it whatsoever. So yes, eventually, in a year from now or so, I'm going to want to take some of my money back by selling my stock.
Right on. We have a question from Mad Scientist. Let's pull that one up. How many people have done what you're doing with Opti, as in gaining control? Because the way people are giving their advice and opinion, you would think a large percentage of Twitter and stock.
That's a great question. It's funny. I get emails, I get DMs, I wake up to 20 messages of people telling me what I should do. It's amazing. It's like having a bunch of Twitter moms. Brush your teeth, go to school, clean your room. It's unbelievable. It is really, really funny. I don't think that I think why this is getting so much traction, honestly, is because I don't think a lot of people are doing what I'm doing, and I'm not saying this to toot my own horn here, but everyone just walks away from these things and gives up and waits till some new company comes in. I actually feel bad about what happened. I'm staying around. I've already spent literally close to $250,000 already on all the legal to get to where we are now with the receiver and everything. So, and that's dead. That's just sunk money. And I'm doing this so that we can all recover our money, because now if I get my money back, it means everyone else is getting their money back. If the stock goes to 5-10 cents, a lot of people get even or make a profit. You know what I mean?
Right on. It's funny. His Sandmaker Finance. All right. A former CEO being sued and starting the exact same new company again. Why, I never. Shocker, right? So give us your overall, now that we're here, we're talking about Opti. And guys, because I want to keep it moving based on stock. I don't want to just jumble stocks around. So if you have questions for Opti, put them now in the chat so we could address those before we move on to the next stock. But give me your overall sentiment and how you think things are going to transpire. And I'm not asking for a timeline. I know people love timelines, so if you want to do that, that's fine. So give us your vibe of how things are going to play out in the next couple months.
I mean, like I think in the next month, the receiver will be appointed. I'll named interim CEO. I would say within like 2 to 3 weeks from there, there'll be the announcement of the new company, like what the name of the company, like people can look it up, like the names of the board of directors. And then I would say it probably is going to take another like 3 to 4 weeks to actually like get all the documents, and everything, the merger, like the preferred stock issuances, getting the voting rights shares transferred over, like stuff like that. You know what I mean? So that's why I say 3 months. So it's a month more for the receiver thing, and then like another like 60 to 90 days of like. It depends on how fast I can clean this up, because like remember, we're missing financials right now, like a bunch of them. The year end is due pretty soon, and when I don't have any of this fucking information because like the old CEO is like on holiday in England or whatever the fuck he's doing. So like basically like I have been in contact with OTC markets. I've been instructed exactly what to do. I've spoken to several people. Tomorrow I'm writing them an email or a letter, I guess. About the filings, about what's getting done, about like how I'm taking over. I'm sending the 2 press releases to them, just creating like so they see that I'm taking this over, that we're taking this over, that I'm doing this for the shareholders. Because like my big thing is I don't want them to send this to the expert market. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's like because like when you don't file your financials for a year, they send you to the expert market. So I prefer that doesn't happen. So, they told me what to do, and they're like, yeah, we're happy to work with you. Everything's on a case-by-case basis. And like I said, I've had a great relationship with OTC markets for well over a decade. So I just, I think that it's not going to be any problem as far as like, a lot of people have been criticizing, saying, you can't just take a new company and merge in the financials. Like, yes, you can. Like, it's exactly what you can do. Like the new company gets acquired, and then the financials become their financials. Makes sense to me. Does that make sense?
It does. Hey guys, when you're actually putting questions in the chat, try doing this. Why don't you tell me what stock you are? So yeah, Sam was wrongly muted. Damn right. Get Sam Aker back here. Oh my God, he's gonna throw me a text later. Oh my God, we accidentally banned Sam. Oh no. That's sort of funny. Are you guys ratting on each other? Oh my God! See what happens when we're over 300? Everybody just turns on one another. It's like a big stock twits session. Always entertaining. All right. So, and guys, like I said, when you want to ask a question regarding stock, don't just say like, "Did you buy more shares of the stock?" Because this gentleman here, Brett Rosen, may be involved in more than 1 or 2 stocks. So just be as specific as possible. That's just me razzing you guys a little bit.
One time I had a conversation with someone for like a half hour about a stock, and he was talking about a different stock, and I'm like, he's like, really? I'm like, it was like totally unrelated. Like, didn't you realize that I said this when I said something about like I think it was like payment processing?
And it just goes to show you, hey, many OTC stories are the same. We see it. Yeah. Well, and I want to take a second just to thank everybody. This is a record-breaking crowd. We have a great crowd tonight. Smash the like button. I would really appreciate it. I love doing these lives. I love having Brett Rosen on. It's always great. But smash the like button and share it. Share it with grandma. Maybe grandma will watch it. Get some watching time up. All right, let's get to some more questions. Let's see. What do we have? Okay, here's a video riff. We'll give him one more question. What's the benefit for a new company to roll into Opti versus just starting new?
Okay, pretty easy. The benefits of a new company merging into Optech is, number one, Optech has an unbelievable shareholder base, an unbelievable depth. Like at one point, there were almost 100,000 shareholders, which is incredible. It's like literally 10 times the average NASDAQ company. So this is a way quicker way to do it. So if you were just to like list, like let's just say you were trying to like start a new OTC markets company, like meaning not buy one that already existed, meaning start your own brand new symbol with the exchange and everything. It takes like a minimum. Like I don't think anyone's done it in less than 7 months, but it takes at least like 7 to 12 months. Let's just say this is something where you can get acquired in an afternoon, and then like the next day the shares are transferred. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a way quicker way to do it. And then these companies can use this as a 2-year stepping stone. Optech is a great public vehicle as a stepping stone for the NASDAQ. With like tens of thousands of shareholders. I mean, you're already acting like a NASDAQ company. I mean, remember, it also used to trade like what, 20, 30, 50 million dollars a day. I mean, like that's on her. I know it was 2021. I understand, but it still did that, you know?
Yeah. Good answer. And you know what? I got to say, you mentioned about starting one from scratch. And
Yeah.
I could mention a ticker that is one that I'm a shareholder in and I'm a very big supporter of is ticker LSEB. Shout out to Jordan. Shout out to Lauren. That one, and by the way, I called that one at 40-50 cents. It's sitting at almost $2 now. Just want to toot my own horn right there. But listen, that's a stock I love. It's a very super low float. And so guys, check that one out. LSEB. I'm rooting for those guys long term. And actually, by the way, Lauren's going to probably be on the show in the next week or so, just trying to solidify time. So be on the lookout. All right. What are we moving on to? Are we moving on to it? Let's say, wait 1 second. All right. We got one more. There's a lot of questions here. There's another Opti question from David Santello. Opti. So the new company is or isn't revenue producing? I thought there were a few with great revenue.
There were two with decent. The one with really good revenue, one with decent revenue. It just didn't work out with like it was like what they wanted wouldn't have been beneficial to the shareholders or to me, quite honestly. So like, I mean, it just wasn't going to work. I mean, like they would have. All right, let me just put it this way. They refused to sign a letter that says they won't do a reverse for 2 years. So like, that's just, if you won't sign that letter, it means you're going to do it. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'll sign a letter that says I'm not going to kill anyone in the next 2 years because I'm not going to kill anyone in the next 2 years. Like, you know what I mean? It's no problem. Like, you know, I mean, there's no reason that you wouldn't sign that letter. And it wasn't even a public thing. It was literally just to me. Do you know what I mean? And so I mean, like, I just, to me, that's not really fair to everyone who stuck around in it the whole time, and including myself. I mean, I hold 176 million. I don't even exactly know how many I have. 100 and some odd million shares, almost 200 million. I mean, you know, it's not fair to any of us. If they blow this thing out and reverse it back like 1,000 to 1 or 10,000 to 1 to try to think they're going to get it to like $1 or something, you know.
All right, I think that answers the question, Dave. Great question. Great question. Thank you for bringing that up. All right. Let's scroll up and Rob, let's pull some questions. Let's move on to Psych. Let's do that. That's been one that has been talked about a lot. One that I am less familiar with. So I'm going to learn a little bit here. Let's give a little backstory. All right, Brett, fill us in a little bit on Psych and your position there, and what we're looking at going forward in regards to acquisition, and then we'll get to Jay's question here.
Okay. On Psych, RB Capital has been they've been an investor in Psych since 2017. We've put in millions of dollars into them over the time. The symbol used to be GOHE. It was a payment processor for cannabis dispensaries. It was pretty heavily traded for a while back in like 2018, 2019, when the whole marijuana boom was going on. I mean, since then, they pivoted to Psychedelic Spotlight, which was basically a informational psychedelic website. It's, you know, articles, news stuff, like, you know, like everything you could want about it. That's what they've been doing. Unfortunately, we were a little early to the party on that one. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that changing the symbol to Psych and everything, because the whole psychedelic boom was like about to go down, and then COVID happened, and you know, when you can't have conferences, you can't make something happen. Unfortunately, as dumb as that sounds, like you can't, like, I mean, people aren't, you're not going to get like 30 people in a room or on Zoom eating mushrooms. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's a little different.
You're trying to tell me those activities are better in person?
Way better. Yeah, exactly. So now Psychedelic Spotlight is most likely, it's still in the public vehicle now, generating a tiny bit of revenue and nothing crazy, but it's probably going to get spun out. And I do have permission to talk about what's coming in. All
right.
I can't tell you names. Once again, I can't tell you the names of the people or anything yet, just because they're going to announce that themselves. But they did authorize me to, like, basically give a little bit of information. So first of all, it's going to go from, like I said, Psychedelic Spotlight to Psychedelic Gaming. Okay, so that way we don't have to change the symbol, or they don't have to change their symbol. It'll be a whole lot quicker and easier. They're basically be releasing games on Android, iOS, as well as the PC. The goal is to release like a mobile game pretty much each month, with one larger game each quarter. All the games are free to play without direct ad placement, basically to ensure that they're capturing a significant player base. They monetize users through a funnel that pushes players to purchase cosmetic items and other convenience items within the game. So like,
So is it like an ad,
like
a game, like it just, and you see these games all the time, these mobile games, these apps where the game's playing and then it just pauses and there's like an ad thrown up there where they could purchase a product or something like that?
No,
Like
no.
adware?
No, totally not. Nothing like that at all.
Okay.
All right. So basically, all right, little spoiler, I guess here is one of the big games they've developed so far already is it's like a pool. It's pool. Like you're shooting pool on your phone, like on your iPhone. So just let me try to thought again. Fuck. So you're shooting pool on your iPhone. Oh, and the way they monetize it is this. So like for $1 or $2, you can buy like a better stick or like a new thing of chalk. Like, so it's like do you see what I mean? Like, so like, you got thousands and thousands of people playing it and each one of them, $2, $3, $4, $5 here and there, like, you know what I mean? But it adds up. Like, do you know what I mean? 10,000 people put in $5 and like, all of a sudden you just did 50 grand, from selling fake pool sticks or, you know what I mean? And then you can customize the felt. You can do like all this stuff like that. You know what I mean? So like that's really how they monetize it. And then later on, there would be like ads on a website, but not like pop-up ads where the thing stops and you got to buy tampons or something. You know what I mean?
Right on. No. So Jay's question, on Psych, when is the new company going to be announced?
I'm obviously giving you some information now. I mean, the thing should be fully announced. I'm assuming within the next 2 weeks. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. The new CEO is former military. He's worked in the gaming space for a number of years. He's sold a bunch of his stuff to large studios like Warner Brothers. Most recently was something called Travel Mechanics for something called Suicide Squad. I'm not a gamer. I don't really know what any of this stuff is, so sorry. The new CEO is coming on and is not going to take a salary until Psych is profitable. And he's putting that in writing. He's going to come out and say that, like the whole 9 yards. Okay. In an effort to help all this, I mean, RB Capital consolidated all of our debt and gave extremely favorable terms to the company and to the shareholders. So there's 3 consolidation notes that have a total of a little over $4.1 million. Okay. Not including interest. And they all convert into stock at a fixed price of 5 cents. And if you ever want to look, the stock's like 0.002, whatever it is right now. I mean, like this is way 5 cents is way out of the money. So if people think that I'm going to, convert $4 million worth of debt to get back 300 grand, you're crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's not how you make money, So, I mean, you're not going to see me convert any of this debt or any of this stock, any of these consolidation notes whatsoever until the stock reaches a price where I'm in the money.
So I think that answers Matt's question.
How long does the Rule 144 restriction last for those shares issued?
For the shares issued. And I think he's referring to Psych.
Oh, Psych. Oh, I'm sorry. So any shares that have issued, like they've already it's already aged. So any shares that I've had issued of Psych, so for example, the most recent conversion I did was I was just converting off old notes from 2018. I mean, that's how old the debt was, like 5-6 years old.
Wow. Got it. All right, let's move on. Mad Scientist, Psych question. I like how he puts Psych question, so that way I know what's going on here. All right, will these games use blockchain or Web3 tech? It's a good question.
I don't know the answer. My mother said smart people know how to say I don't know. So I'm like, well, I must be really smart then because I say it all the time. So
we're gonna Money Tings. What's up? This guy's active on Twitter. Shout out!
Yeah, he's really active. I like this guy.
Yeah, Psych. Should we still expect a PR this week per the company X announcements?
So I have no idea when they put out press releases. I'm not privy to them unless I have a quote in there and it's about RB Capital. I don't see them. I don't know when they go out ever. I mean, it would be unfair, obviously, if I had knowledge of when a press release was coming out. I can speculate and say that I'm assuming we're going to get one in the next week, within the next few days. But do I know the exact date it's going to happen? All
right, let's go to one of my favorite followers here, Lisa Matthews. Sometimes I think I'm following her because she's very, very smart. Very smart. Great trader, too. Psych. Can Brett explain the advantages of converting his shares now? There's quite a few people in uproar and spreading misinformation.
What's the point of converting my debt now to get some of the debt off the books? I'm trying to raise the debt to equity ratio up of the company a little bit, because like when you merge in a new company like that doesn't have any debt and then it takes over a whole bunch of debt, it basically drags down their equity to negative. Okay, so companies with negative equity, nobody looks at them. I understand like nobody really most OTC companies don't give a shit about the equity anyway. But when you're like in preparation to go on like a big board or something, or like someone's going to do that, the shareholder equity is one of the three major things that you need. So if you have a negative 2 million in shareholder equity and you need 5 million, it means you need to raise at least $7 million on your IPO to do you know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's terrible.
By the way, if you hear the dog barking in the background, it's not a puppy anymore. It's a 70-pound dog right now. Shout out to Millie. Millie shout out of the week. Man, the dog things. I actually saw your puppy earlier, which is great. But man, Millie's getting big, guys. Just for those are the ones that I actually shared on the channel. I'm like, I go, yeah, got a puppy. Had to get the puppy. Usually it's the kids screaming in the background and beating each other up or yelling and screaming and crying. But now we get to add the dog to it, which is fantastic. Hey, all right, let's get to our next question. I have to have a little fun here at the expense of my family. All right, Jeff, Brett, has anybody else sold your RB Capital shares of Psych for you?
Why would no one else would have control of my stock?
I think what he's asking is, is there anybody else that is holding your shares that would sell for you in a different account?
Oh, no. Of course
if
not.
If I'm getting that right.
No. 100% that's not. I mean, all of our shares, all of my shares of everything are in RB Capital's name in our brokerage account or one of our brokerage accounts somewhere. And like I said, I mean, I voluntarily like filled out those 13 G's and showed them so everyone saw what I was doing. I was being as upfront as possible. I didn't have to do any of that. And then you guys wouldn't know anything until the next financials came out. You know what I mean? Like I did that so everyone stayed in the know. I mean, like I didn't realize it was going to cause this enormous uproar.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Well, I said, I guess all due diligence isn't friendly, you know?
Well, yeah, and I think that a lot of people's concern is when people do use ghost accounts, and it's been done before where people use ghost accounts and they transfer shares knowing that they have restricted shares, but they have a bunch of open market shares that they've purchased, super low because they're on the in because of the NDAs and they've seen the stock pumped up and they dump all over everybody. And it's happened, but I think that maybe what Jeff was getting at, I hope I did you justice there, Jeff. And Jay has another question. PSYC Psych.
Oh,
I like saying that. No reverse splits, right? Is there an agreement on it with the CEO? PSYC Psych.
Yeah, the new CEO like isn't like a stock guy. He's like a gaming guy. He's a developer. He's not trying to like issue preferred stock or issue whatever the heck it is. He doesn't care about this at all. Like 100%. They will formally. I'm assuming. I'm actually almost positive that they will formally announce that there will not be a reverse split.
All right, you heard it there firsthand. All right, let's get to some more questions here. All right, a little comment from Brett for Press. We appreciate your openness, Brett. Thank you for putting forth the filings. And it makes you wonder because you really have been forthcoming. I know you like sharing your investing adventure, with people. Usually, when it's in the positive and you're talking positively about a company, and nobody wants to hear, some of the stories, for example, Opti, where all hell breaks loose. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, look, everyone just sat around and like what happens is like take Humble, it crashed, everyone lost tons of money, and everyone's just bitching about it. Is anyone actually doing anything? Why don't people get together and sue them? Like sue derivative shareholder lawsuit, do exactly what I did, take over the company, get the bleeding to stop. Like, you know what I mean?
I think a lot of the companies too, and this is one thing I'm realizing as I get to talk with a lot of people. One, I'm realizing that there are a lot of genuine startups in the OTC.
Yes.
There are a lot of good people out there that really want to fund their companies, that want to create shareholder growth. The problem is a lot of these people, they've done it one time, and so they mess up along the way. And guess who they have to hear from? They have to hear from the shareholders.
Yes.
So you hear these startup stories, you hear these merger stories. You know, how many times have we heard about FINRA, a name change in FINRA not going well? We've heard that. That's like a random, that's an everyday story in the OTC ones. The name change happened when FINRA gets back. And I think it was you that said the sheet for FINRA, or maybe it was Adam that said it. it's like one page. So it's a simple form, and then they come back with all these questions. And I know, like, one of my guests before, he had to go through like 15 years worth of documents for FINRA just for a name change and ticker change. So it sounds like a grueling process. Nothing that I'd want to, embark on as of yet.
I have a funny FINRA story. So I had a meeting like 4 years ago or so, like in New York, in like the new buildings where the towers used to be, where they rebuilt. So my meeting's on the 59th floor, like all the way at the top. It's with some broker, okay, some clearing firm. So I get off the elevator and I turn to the right, and it just says FINRA, and I'm like, oh no, I got set up. I'm like, they got me. I'm like, this is terrible. It was so funny. And then FINRA is actually the other half of the floor, so that's where their office was. So I walk up, and then the broker's right away. He goes, it was terrible. He goes because FINRA comes over, like, randomly looks over our shoulder like all the time. I'm like, that's terrible.
So. Yeah, it sounds awful, and eventually, and this is sort of the funny thing. Eventually, I want to launch my collective public. I think it'd be great in the next couple of years, really do a special thing. And I want to learn from all of the mistakes of all the people that I've had on the show. And so I don't, but I guarantee you, so if you're a future shareholder, I'm probably going to screw up because it's almost like, there's landmines in the OTC. Like, it's designed for failure sometimes, especially it's not user friendly for the first time. No way, shape, and form is it ready. Because I mean, you have people that are lawyers that have passed the bar that handle these things, and they mess up. And actually, there's some lawyers out there where you look at the filings and look at the documents, and you're like, wow, what's going on? And it just seems like sometimes the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing with some of these companies. And sometimes the left hand knows what the right hand is doing and decides to look the other way, and just scams people left and right. In the case of Opti, for example, let's get to one more question here. And one more. We're going to get to a lot more questions here. All right. Another Opti question. What price target, we're going back to Opti, are you looking for? What price target are you looking at to break even? And what's the latest on receivership? And we did just talk about that.
3 weeks away. We got that. Look.
Rewind the video.
Yeah. So what price target for me to break even? I mean, on the shares that I have now, for me to like break even, I need Opti to go to like 6.5 cents, somewhere around there, based on like what I have right now.
Let me know in the comments section what your average share price is, if you want to, and let me know what 6.5 cents would do for you. All right. And actually, we're going to talk about, getting unbagged, I guess you could say, in a little bit. So let's go to Crybaby Matt. All this guy does is whine. Oh, my gosh. No, I'm just kidding. Come on, I had to. When you buy old debt, what happens to it? Can you still convert that debt now that it is yours, or is it paid off and encompassed in your new loans?
When you buy old debt, you mean like...
Yeah, I think he's asking, does it merge in with the converted debt? That's how I'm taking the question.
So
I think once it converts, it converts.
All right. So like let's say I come into a company and I buy up. First of all, with Optech, the only debt holder is me, and with Psych, really the only debt holder is me too. So like there is nothing to buy up. I got to pay myself. But if I were to come in and like ILUS, for example, let's just do that. Like I came in and I paid off some GPL notes, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I got the toxic notes out of their way. You know what I mean? I mean, that's one thing, but I mean, I don't know. Where did the question go? See, you got to leave the question up so I can like.
All right, fine. Come on, I expect you to memorize these.
Yeah, you get this thing out. Yeah, yeah. This is a tricky question. It's like it's in stages. I mean, no one quite knows what it means.
Well, we haven't gotten the tricky yet. We're going to talk ILUS and CYBL in a second. Just wait.
So, all right. So when I buy third-party debt, yes, I can convert it. Okay, but like it has to all be approved by the company. Like it isn't like I can't just automatically do it and send it to the transfer agent and get the shares on. Like the board of directors has to sign off unanimously. The CEO, there's a bunch of documents that go into this. It isn't like, and it doesn't take one day, by the way. It takes a long time. So it's not like something that happens right away. Very rarely do the companies ever pay me off. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I mean, like look, I get paid off out of IPOs a lot, but like. Very rarely do OTC companies make enough in profit or revenue to like actually pay me off. It has happened. I mean, I've had a few companies that just one day I woke up and a company wired me 900 grand. And I was like, this is insane. I'm like, well, there's 900 grand in my bank account. Where did this come from? I couldn't figure it out for like 2 days. And then the guy sent me an email. I was like, oh, did you get that money? I'm like, you paid me back. I was like shocked. You know?
Wow. There, write it down in the book. Brett Rosen's success story.
Yeah.
There it is.
One in a row.
Yeah, and you've actually, guys, if you go back and look at some of the old interviews on Buffalo Fireside Chats, you've shared some really good stories over the last year. I mean, like, you do have some doozies, man. I'll tell you,
Hey,
literally.
I wish it was a little less eventful, to be honest with you. Like, you know what I mean? It would be better.
There we go. MHL went black hole for Cirque. And I guess they're doing 2 reverse splits now. Like, there's their second one within the last 2 months, if I'm correct. So
No. So Cirque did a reverse like in the last month and a half or so.
Yeah, somebody posted.
They're not doing
somebody posted. Somebody posted that they were doing another one. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not.
So it's completely false, just so you know. So you can't do 8 months has to elapse minimum before you even file for the reverse split again, which means that they can't really happen. Like, it has to be at least 10 months, because it takes 2 months to get approved probably. So you're looking at 9 to 10 months minimum. And look, they're not trying to do this. I mean, I had a long call today, like an hour, like literally, like almost right before this thing. I was on the phone for an hour with the CEO of Cirque. I mean, like, look, the company is doing so well. It just like it is. I mean, the guy's crushing. He's closing business. He just closed a $500,000 commercial deal. I mean, like, it's amazing. The problem is, like I said, it doesn't reflect in the stock price because you have like all these terrible deals that the old CEO made. I mean, the guy, remember, like, when people have their shares on reserve at the TA, like, meaning that, like, essentially the company's already put a letter to the transfer agent saying that the shares are issued. That means, like, they don't need to, like, get their stock signed for, or you know what I mean? The company doesn't need to sign off on it. They just send a notice of conversion to the TA, the transfer agent, and then that's it. They issue the shares, they send them to their brokerage account, and they sell them. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it sucks. And like, everyone then blames it on short selling or blames it on this, but like, in reality, it's just selling. That's all that's happening, you know?
And we see it a lot in the OTC. It's like a domino effect.
Yeah,
All it takes is, and you know what? You never know what the PR is going to be. And that's the crazy thing. You could have a catalyst coming in 1 month and boom, you have a press release. Stock price goes up, buying pressure. Second week, stock price goes up, buying pressure. Catalyst is weeks away still. That third press release might be the one where people sell on.
Exactly.
It's very hard to, and mergers are a little bit more easier to gauge, but it's just, you never know where it's going to go. And that's why I think people really like the term organic growth. They want to see things move slowly upwards. Yeah, but those are the same people that when that happens and the stock price goes down a little bit, freak out and panic and email the company.
It's a scam.
Scam. And I want to keep things going. So we did talk Opti, we did talk Psych. There's a lot to look forward to for both those companies. And like he said, it's not going to happen next week. I mean, these things take time, and this is we just opened up the book. He wrote chapter 1. You didn't write chapter 1. You're continuing the chapter. This is a whole new book, whole new story, especially when it's all brand new. It's literally a new chapter because Psych's going to be a brand new company. Opti's going to be a brand new company. It's going to be a fresh start. And so kudos to all the tickers, seriously, or all the shareholders, I should say. All right. What do we want to talk about? I think it's time. I want to talk CYBL. I know people are itching to talk about CYBL now. It looks like they updated their board on OTC markets, which means that they have access. So come on, Brett, speculate away, man. I want you to tell us.
I mean, look, they're updating their stuff. They're most likely going to file their financials very, very soon. For the year end or whatever. My guess is that, like, I mean, look, this is my guess, and don't everybody send me a bunch of DMs saying you're a liar tomorrow, like, because you won't know. Okay, like, so I just think that, like, CYBL needs to just file this year-end financial, okay, like, and then let OTC markets review it. Okay, there's been enough back and forth with them that I really believe that, like, this is all coming to an end. I mean, like, look, if they weren't working with them and this wasn't, like, going to get resolved, they would have just sent them to the expert market or, like, whatever, a long ass time ago. Like, remember, like, I mean, like, they're still sitting there with just, like, they're just pink with, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, usually, like, after a year, you're moved over to the expert market. You're gone. I mean, you're off. You need to start over again. You know what I mean? And that hasn't happened. So, like, to me, like, that's why I think that this is all going to work out in the end. I think there were a couple forces at play that were, people that had it out for the company, so to speak. But I don't really think that there was any juice behind them.
Right on. I'm actually before we go on a CYBL tangent, and I need my producer's help here. There was a paid comment from Arlex, and I want to bring it up. If we could find that comment, because I do not want to leave Arlex hanging. Wait, I think I found it. Here it is. All right. And by the way, thank you very much, Arlex, for the cup of coffee and a muffin, pretty much. Thank you very, very much. You did not have to do that. Arlex is a great friend of mine. We had a chance to go down to the ILUS shareholder meeting, which was great. And he says, "Hey, Brett, you have shown so much interest." And I wanted to touch on this because guess what? This CEO is coming on the show this Sunday. So much interest and love towards FLES, the business model, and the CEO. Are you performing due diligence to make a move or partner up or help finance the company? Do tell.
Yeah, I do. I have been. I spoke to. I speak to Chris Davenport a lot. I literally spoke to him like 3 hours ago. So I do love their business model. I'm helping them, basically trying to get them to restructure some of their whatever you want to call it, debt nonsense that's on their books, into like preferred stock with a 1-year lockup, so that no one can do that. You know what I mean? I'm trying to negotiate a bunch of things with them to get them to, because their business model is great. The guy was doing 16 million dollars in revenue a few years ago. So and now he has almost no advertising money, and he's still basically, I think he's cash flow positive now, or almost close to it right now.
Close to it. He mentioned on the show that he was close to it. They could hit that this year, and now they just relaunched Lift Kits for Less.
Yeah, exactly.
And I reached out to ask him, "Hey, how's it going in regards to revenue?" And they're already making sales on it.
Yeah, he said, that was like a huge percentage of their business. So look, I love the low float of this thing. I think it's really good. Because that means that retail can carry this thing. Do you know what I mean? And there's one seller in there now, one debt converter that's trying to get out. I think, but it's only $100 and some odd $1,000. Mm-hmm. And if I come in, I'm going to pay off the other debt that's left. So there'll be no other convertible debt whatsoever.
Wow, that would be impressive.
But remember that in a year there'll be people that have preferred. So here's the thing. So just because they can convert it to preferred doesn't mean that those preferred shares do convert to common in a year. Mm-hmm. So it's not much. It's basically prolonging the inevitable. Do you understand? So these people are still going to get shares. It's just that it's going to be in a year from now.
Okay, absolutely. I understand exactly what you're saying, and so that's 12 months away.
Yes.
That's one.
In the OTC, it's an eternity.
It is an eternity. You know how many bags we could gather around. All right, so that's a little bit about FLES. Let's get back on track with CYBL. Right. I got some questions here from not questions, some comments and questions. But let's start with the man, the myth, the legend. Beast mode activated.
Beast mode.
And so this guy is awesome. Cybl started uploading company information on Monday through the OTCIQ portal, and it's now showing on OTCM. Hopefully, Cybl and OTCM will now work as a cohesive team. Brett, what are your thoughts? So if you want to continue on.
I agree. OTC markets wouldn't have given them the access back. You know what I mean? They would have just told them to get lost. You know what I mean? They wouldn't have given the access back if they weren't working with them. Look, they're not going to just tell them to file their financials to never look at them. They're obviously going to review them. And look, I think that there's been enough pressure, both from Cyberlux, from their attorneys, from their everything, that this has to come to a head. This has to end soon. You know what I mean? So I think we are honestly in the final bit of it. I know I've said this before and I get this, but look, I've seen my one of my lawyers, his whole business was getting the CE removed. And I've watched him do it to 6, 7, 8 different companies. And it took him a month or two to do it. Just that there was, like I said, there were other factors working against Cyberlux. People there was someone or some people or someone at OTC markets that didn't like him or something that doesn't like them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right on. Jordan, when I grow up, I want to be like beast mode activated. And you know what? It's and Crybaby Matt. I'm gonna get to that in a second. In regards to
who's
he's
Crybaby Matt? Is that the kid from?
I don't know. And it's weird because like I have been off the stock twits for a while, and I don't dare go on iHub, which I guess I'm the target of some really colorful essays on iHub. Which
Someone sent me something about you too, and then someone sent me something about me. Oh my god, people write the worst. I never go on iHub, but people write the worst shit on there. Oh my god,
dude, it's the funniest thing. You know what makes it really, really funny is that when you know it's not true, and it just goes to show you how misinformed and stupid people are, because there's not some like basement underground tunnels with like just because you're covering stocks, or how are we gonna do this, or it's not like somebody called me like the biggest crook ever. It was just funny. It's just the article, the fact that somebody took time to write 2 pages, and I'm like, man, I guess I'm doing something right when I have a hater. So thank you.
He wasted 2 hours of his life.
Yeah, no, let's be real. That son of a bitch didn't even proofread it. He didn't proofread it.
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, like iHub is basically Yelp for the stock market. It's people get bagged in a stock, or a stock goes down, and they want to go in there and rant and rave and blah, blah, blah. It's like Yelp. No one has the best steak of their life and comes home and is like, wow, that was the best steak and mashed potatoes I've ever had. But like, if your steak is undercooked and it's not like, this place fucking sucks, don't ever go here. Like nobody writes good reviews unless they're fake. Like, you know what I mean? Like.
Oh, it's so funny. iHub. It's the same 7 guys commenting. Well, literally it is,
And it's been that way for 10 years,
And by the way, guys, we have a huge crowd tonight. Hit the like button, please, please, please.
Where is the like button?
It's the like button on YouTube. You're not on YouTube. You're on stream.
Never mind. So
by the way,
I've been looking for
the
like
program.
Button.
He's been accidentally thumbs downing this video. So you're the one that's been hitting the thumbs down accidentally. It's like, why was that one thumbs down? It's Brett, but he was on that show. What the hell did he do? I'm going to keep things going on CYBL, and here we go, mad scientist. CYBL, Brett, remember we still linking up in Daytona Beach for wings and the Bethune Grill when CYBL gets pink current. Don't get missing. Been over a year.
Yeah, don't worry. I 100% remember. I definitely remember this. We're gonna meet there 100%.
Yeah, it's gonna be unbelievable when things happen. And I gotta say, like, this is a thing. And I've seen other stocks go CE, and I'm like, it's game over. It's gonna be years, yada yada yada. And everybody has a story about, oh no, they're just there, they're almost there, they're almost there. And I'm gonna just say it. I think we're almost there. Just like that's how you think. I felt that way for a year and the reason why is because when you see their names on DoD websites, when you see them contracted by the U.S. government, when you see them deploying these drones and manufacturing these drones for a foreign conflict, and it's there in black and white from our own U.S. government. Now, not that the government has always never lied to us, but I mean, like, they're not going to go out of their way to lie about CYBL, So
they're not going out of their way for a pig sheet.
Yeah, that's right. And so, and I think that, even like the Datron acquisition, how that thing has came through. If you look at the numbers behind that acquisition, is freaking unbelievable. Doing almost $1 billion in the last 20 years. I know somebody funny does go say, well, that's all they 50 million. That's a lot of money, because actually a couple of the higher years, I mean, we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars. So give me thoughts on that. And you've been to Datron. You've been to Datron.
I've been to Datron. I've got a tour of the whole place. I've seen everything. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, look, I know the CE has been on for like 14 and a half months now. And look, it's been almost 2 years since like Cyberlux has been like current in their financials. It sucks. But like, and this isn't an excuse. This isn't giving them like a reason or anything. But look what they've accomplished in this time. I mean, like, look, this company with the CE got a government contract. I mean, imagine, like, doesn't the government ever go on like Yahoo Finance and just type in the symbol and say, what the fuck is 002 mean? Like, like, I just think that like Datron wasn't free. Like, I mean, like you said, it's a real company. I mean, look, for me to fucking go there, I had to get like clearance. I had to send my ID like days ahead of time. And they'd like get clearance from the government for me to even go there. Like, make sure I wasn't a spy or something, like giving out intel or something. You know what I mean? Like, it was nuts. I mean, like, so like, it's a real company. And remember, like, Cyberlux has money. Like, they're not broke. They have assets. They have like contracts from the government. And like, look, the government might pay slow, but like the government pays. Like, the government might tell you you're getting paid on the 1st and you don't get paid till the 21st. But like, you get paid. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's like the DMV. You can't speed it up. Okay, you can yell at them all you want, and you'll be there for 2 days. You know what I mean?
You picked the worst government agency.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Exactly. So I think you made your point. Paul McKinney Art, what's up? CYBL. Oh, by the way, check out the merch link. He sent in a thing. He got some BFC merch. It was awesome too. The deadline for those 2,000 K8 to DoD is later this month. With the acquisition of Datron, where do you see CYBL next year with the market cap?
I mean, look, I've been saying this, and like, look, I know that I understand that there's like, I understand that there's like, 5 point whatever billion shares outstanding, and I get that, okay, and I know like the stock's not going to go to $5. I'm not an idiot, okay, but like, and it does sound crazy, but like, I don't think that like 10, 15, 20 cents is out of the realm of possibility. I mean, RB Capital is just like signed documents with CYBL to convert $1.7 or $1.65 million worth of our debt at 25 cents. Like, so think about that. Like, I mean, that's like literally, it's 100 times what it is right now. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm believing, I'm willing to bet $1.65 million that I'm going to get 100 bagger. I mean, think about that. I mean,
I like the way you think.
No one else bought CYBL stock for 25 cents. And I mean, I can show the signed documents if I have to, you know what I mean? I'll post them on Twitter.
Damn. Let's keep going. Mad Scientist, CYBL is baby Lockheed Martin.
Mm-hmm.
All right. For we to walk through them, through the drone. Sometimes I have trouble reading these ones. Through for drone orders is crazy. They bought $1 million company. I can wait to have Brett type of money once we get pink.
I can't wait to have my type of money again too, because like unfortunately it's been a terrible couple of years, as it has been for everyone.
Yeah, it's been rough. And by the way, here's Jess in LA, actually our most recent Discord member. So guys, if you want to join the BFC Discord, click the Patreon, and we're always doing due diligence in there. Just called a lot of record-breaking crowd. But yeah, check out the Patreon, and we just called a couple 100%ers with the in regards to mergers, but there's a couple great ones that we're covering that I think are going to be good holds, which is I look for those medium to long-term holds. But thanks, Jess in LA, for making me plug the Discord. But CYBL, Brett, do you know if CYBL has professional IR ready to create awareness to institutional defense sector focused buyers?
I mean, I don't really have anything to do with IR or like any of that stuff, so I really have no idea. I would assume that, like, I mean, look, most of the time, like, companies, like OTC market companies, don't have the money to spend on that stuff because, like, legitimate IR costs a fortune. I mean, it costs 6 figures a month. You know what I mean? So it's not cheap. So, like, my guess is if they were going to hire a super professional, like a 6-figure a month firm, it would be because they were getting full reporting and going to the NASDAQ or NYSE. That would, I mean, like, I don't see the need, because like, look, if they get this, when they get the CE off and they start releasing news and doing all this other stuff. I mean, like, think about it. I mean, like, it's already going to be the biggest comeback story in the history of the OTC markets. I mean, it's going to catch on like no other, you know what I mean? And hopefully Optech will be the second biggest comeback story again.
I mean, I'm absolutely completely excited about it, to be honest with you. I can't wait. And I think it's going to be a huge turnaround. I really do. Hey guys, if you haven't subscribed to the BFC, click that subscribe button. I'd love to have you a part of the BFC fam. We do firsthand due diligence like this all the time, so check it out. All right, we're going to get a paid comment from, by the way, thank you very, very much for the cup of coffee. Crybaby man again. Hey, he's taking advantage of this. That's what this is all about. All right. Where do things stand with Block Query, BLQC? Go.
They owe me millions of dollars. They don't pay it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I haven't converted any shares of stock in a while of the company. I haven't received any payments in a long time. I mean, I don't know what anyone wants me to say. I mean, like, I'm not on good terms with them, if that's what you're asking.
All right.
I mean, like if I don't know anything about the business because I haven't spoken to anyone there since November. So, like, I mean, they've been ignoring me, and I mean, they basically told me to pound sand on the $15 million they owed me. So
that's insane.
And Block Query is my single largest investment, by the way.
Yep. And he does have one more question. I'll give him this question. And
is he paying you for this?
No. But I'll, people who want to put questions, put it in there. He wants to know basically if you're using third-party accounts to do dirty work. you know, personally, he thinks that this guy who's claiming that you do it is doing the same thing. But any response to like this Kurt DeWitt
First of
guy?
all,
I don't know if you know
I don't even
Kurt
know.
DeWitt.
I have no idea who the fuck Kurt DeWitt is, like, at all. He claims that do you know how people claim things about me every single day that are so full of shit? I mean, come on. Why would I need to send any of my shares to any third party? I have prime brokerage accounts. I have DVP accounts. I have fucking I have custody accounts with major banks. Why in the world would I need to? Do you know what offshore fees are? Like, it's 25%. Like, think about this. If I go buy like $10,000 worth of stock in my E-Trade account, it costs me $5 or $6, whatever the fuck it is. Do you know if I were to sell $10,000 worth of shares offshore, it's $2,500 in fees. So, in other words, unless the stock goes up 25%, you're down money. Which is why the only people that actually use those offshore fucking places are people that get their shares for free. And those,
because they're willing to
they don't give a shit. The shares got issued for free. You know, the CEO or whoever issues shares to their cousin, who then sells them to this broker. And the reason why they sell to these offshore places is because these offshore places give you 50 cents on the dollar day one. Stock's worth 200 grand. They'll write you a $100,000 check the same day. They'll wire the money right to your account. I mean, the second you deliver the shares.
And that happens often with Chinese companies, correct? And foreign companies.
100%. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. Hey, well, at least I got a fan now. He loves Buffalo Fireside. Don't forget to tickle the subscribe button. All right. Let's see what else we have here. All right. We already talked share price on Opti. All right. In there. Okay. I digress for the evening. Shout out to you, dude. All right. Mighty Tings needs a Lambo. And hey, one of my good friends sipped it. All the CYBL talk. I just wired a stack to Speed Trader. By the way, how many of you are using Speed Trader? Yeah, he's great. He's a good dude.
This guy has some good posts. I like this guy. He's real honest. I've seen him on Twitter a bunch of times too. He doesn't sugarcoat things, and he doesn't make shit up. I understand that everyone kind of throws on extras on the stories to kind of prove their point, which is a huge thing on Twitter. This guy is pretty much keeps it real all the time. Even when he calls me on my shit, he's keeping it real.
Yeah, you know, he's become a good friend in the trader community. I actually just talked to him yesterday. He's a good he's a Patreon member, he's a Discord member, and you know, he's an example. I'm gonna give a shout out to you, Siptit, of, you know, when I started doing this, you know, I get to meet good people, and I've made a lot of friends along the way. And you know what, when I going to the ILUS shareholder meeting, you know, you get to meet those people in person and talk trading, talk investing, talk life in general. It's really that's the biggest reward I've had, you know, starting this channel. And so, you know, guys like him, Arlex, Jord, who's a contributor, and you know, all you guys that have Paul McKinney, you know, just, you know, all these guys, you know, just supporting the channel and supporting each other. I think that's awesome. And sharing information, which is the biggest weapon that we could have in the trading world, is info. So shout out to you, mister. And so yeah, let's talk ILUS. ILUS.
Right.
Now, I'm going to just tell you right now, tomorrow, it's going down. It's going down. The first interview I'm having with JP Backwell, you know, in almost a year. And so I'm going to have that interview tomorrow, and I will be releasing it afterwards. Obviously, I you know, guys know me. I prefer live. I like going live, but you know, when you're an 8-hour time difference or whatever, you know, it creates some, you know, difficulties. But either way, I have 22 questions written down. I've spent a good 2 hours today just going over old PRs and refreshing my brain, because I'm not gonna let this opportunity go. When I get him on, I want questions answered, and it's gonna be SAML focused. I'm really gonna focus on that last PR. If you guys have followed that PR, that thing is a freaking beast, and there's so much information there. And if you can't connect the dots, maybe read it a second or third time. I mean, it's all there in black and white.
Read it till you figure it out. Is all you can say.
Right on. You know? And you know, we're nearing the end. We've already been over an hour, which is great. I mean, this is excellent. And by the way, like I said, guys, hit the subscribe button, join the BFC fam, the growing BFC community, and join the Discord. All right, my question is this for you. All right, because this is another one of your big investments. How is your sentiment with ILUS?
I mean, I'm super happy with ILUS. I think that, like, you look, I mean, things have pivoted and taken different courses, and I understand all that. But like with what they have going on right now, like what they're doing, I mean, like Nick and JP finally did it. You know what I mean? That's like just they finally did it. Let's just say that. I mean, I just think that like we're all going to be super surprised, and I also think that JP is not coming on the show tomorrow to say nothing.
On the facts, he does.
It's great. It's like a Jimmy Kimmel show over here, you know?
Right? Except everybody's virtual. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, like I said, I think that JP, if he's coming on the show tomorrow, he's coming on there to like tell you guys some shit. He's not coming on there to be like, oh, hey, we're doing great. We can't talk about it. Because like, look, telling people you can't talk about it is like the fucking thing that pisses shareholders off more than anything in the world. Like, so you put out a press release to tell me you can't say anything? Like, okay, like, seriously, that's ridiculous, you know?
It's exciting. We're in an exciting time, and I think a lot of things are gonna the tides are definitely turning. And you know what? Then I gotta say, like, have there been days in the last year? And I'm sure you felt like this way. You're like, son of a bitch, my investments. This sucks. This sucks bad. I mean, you have those. I mean, you know of all people where you have those days. Have I had those days with ILUS, Cybl, or any of those? Yeah. The difference is, lashing out online and lashing out at people doesn't do any good. There's a way to go around getting information. There's a way to approach companies. If you tell a CEO to screw off, and then a week later you're asking for a question, I'm wondering why you're not getting a response and why a company may have blocked you. That's why. There's a way to go around it. And so, I think that Eric, your graphic said the 9th. Is JP on the 8th or the 9th?
Oh, you mean the 8th?
Oh, the 8th. Yeah, it's the 8th. Yeah, I better get.
It did say the 9th.
Did it say the 9th?
Yeah.
All right. No, it didn't. I'm not going to pull it back up to prove it otherwise, right?
Yeah.
No, it is the 8th. It is tomorrow morning, guys. So, man, it's just like, and we've been busy here. We have Brett Rosen today. Yep, it's 9th. Rob, get that out of there. Don't give them the wrong information.
Yeah, don't double do
Wiggles isn't allowed to be right. Shout out to Wiggles, by the way. That's right. Wow. That's right. Get out of here, Wiggles. No, Wiggles is a ILUS Discord mod. He's great, and good to have you. So, okay. Oh, actually, let's have an ILUS question from Mad Scientist here. Brett, have you seen any of their fire products implemented? They give me Tyco vibes with all the acquisitions. I pulled out of the stock when I went to their Boca office, and they weren't there. And I know that that was a big thing back in the day, where they ended up not using that office space. So
yeah. So just so you know, like, I went to that office. Like, I was at the Boca office and I was standing in it. I was there with JP. I mean, I posted a picture a long time ago on Twitter. I could probably pull it up on my phone. They just wound up not using it because like all the people that were going to work for them that lived in that area, like basically didn't end up working for them. So like none of their employees were anywhere near this office. So they had an office with no employees that lived anywhere near it. I mean, it wasn't that they were like trying to like hype up things. I mean, first of all, an office isn't hype. Okay, like, getting a new office is an expense. It's not a fucking acquisition. It's not a merger. It's not an asset. It's an expense every month. So I mean, to answer the fire products thing, I have not firsthand seen any of their fire products. Like, I mean, I have not. I mean, like, it's just hard because like Nick lives in Dubai. JP, they all live abroad. I mean, it's very, very difficult to like. I mean, I see them, I talk to them all the time, but it's like, it's hard to get all around the world to see these things,
And I could say there are videos, demonstrations on there. And I will say as a shareholder, like, and I'm hoping at one point when they do have their shareholder meetings that they do have live demos, where now they're getting on NASDAQ. It'd be nice for them to like freaking light up a car and put it out the car live. I think that'd be pretty cool, to see those demos of those products.
Well, shareholder meetings are a lot different when you're a NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange company. Like, so for example, instead of like, renting out a room with like chicken fingers, like it's actually like a real thing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They spend $250,000 having the shareholder meeting. Like, you know what I mean? Where it's like, it's real, like, it's an all day thing, So it's like, I think that you'll see that with all this new everything like ILUS and SAML and QID, they'll all start acting like the companies we all know they are. Like, you know what I mean? They'll start acting like real big board stocks,
And I think ILUS has, and I think by not taking the bait and arguing with people, and CYBL too. I mean, Mark could be like blasting off tweets, right? You know,
Yeah.
but ILUS hasn't done that. They haven't gotten dirty with people, and they've just
Yeah.
kept it honest and kept it to the business. But finish what you're saying. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, that's it. I was done.
All right, that's it. He's done. Get him out of here. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You know, so what do you say? And I like I said, I know what he was talking about with the office. That did like that to me didn't do anything, because how many times, I mean, I know companies that they're in a place and renting a space, a new landlord comes in or a new
Exactly, and they get
property,
kicked out a
they
month
get kicked
later.
out. Dude, there was a great burger joint in town down in Hamburg. You know where Hamburg is. And I'm telling you, it was great. All of a sudden, they just closed down because somebody bought the property, gave them 30 days or whatever it was.
Yeah, and
36
they
days or
wanted to
whatever.
build condos on it or houses or something. Yeah, exactly.
Well, ironically, another burger joint's moving in, so maybe they. Which is, I don't know. Maybe
That's awesome. It's
I
a
don't know.
conspiracy.
You know what? And let's see, like in retail and in real estate, you know, you have basically, you know, there are these, for those of you that aren't familiar with real estate, you have a contract with your landlord or the property owner where you could give them a percentage of your business. That's an option. It's not always like that. And sometimes these property owners say, all right, you know, this is going to be your thing, blah, 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 and you get a percentage of the revenues of that business or the profits of the business. And so, you know, I don't know what the indicator was on that. I'm not sure about the facts, but you know, so that's why like the location thing doesn't bother me. How many times I've had favorite barbers? Oh yeah, we're not located there anymore. I've went for a haircut Saturday morning, and I pull in and I call the number. I'm like, yeah, I'm here. You guys open? You're like, oh yeah, we moved. You know, that just happens. You know,
It's true.
so true. You know, all right. I think that let's get one more question in here. All right, so we did get to the mad scientist, Anthony DeVideo. What's up, man? Brett for Press.
All
Thank
right.
you very much. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Guys, hit the subscribe button. We do this once or twice a week with CEOs, managing directors, teams, traders. You know, we like to do it all here, and the community is growing, and it's a great community. All right. I think that we covered a lot today. Is there anything else that you want to add in regards to anything that we talked about? Go for it. This is your closing. Oh, here we go. Paul McKinney, before you close. Well, when is your autobiography coming out? For all of us that would like to know more about how you got started. I'd buy the book. I would. I'd buy the book.
I'll be happy to, give me a call. I'll be happy to tell you. It's not that exciting, believe me.
They have romantic comedies. This would be like a financial comedy.
It's funny because like everyone else in my family is a school teacher, so it's like it's so funny. My mother was a school teacher. My sister was a school teacher. Like it's like it's like I'm the only one that went this path. It's just hilarious, and like they barely comprehend like my life at all. But it's I guess having humble beginnings is like very, very important to me, which is why like I actually feel that I have a little bit more like compassion with like investing and stuff than like others. Like which is like why I'm doing the Optech thing. Do you know what I mean? Like I could have sold my judgment for $10 million and just walked away and collected $10 million, not done any of this bullshit. Okay, like and instead I'm just staying here spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on legal fees. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
No, it's well, we appreciate your sincerity. Jess, confessions of an OTC trader.
Yeah. I don't know about confessions. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, that's implicit in guilt. What'd you do, Brett? What'd you do?
Nothing. Yeah, nothing.
I am looking. I'm not putting up some of those comments purposely, but they are funny. I'm looking at some of those comments, and that is pretty funny. But yeah, hey, I like to be respectful here. That's what we do. It's that's what we're all about. But yeah, it's funny. I've been teaching for 16 years now, and so it's a rewarding career, trying at times, and every day my kids they laugh at me. They're like, "Oh, you're losing more hair." I'm like, "Yeah, no shit. Why do you think?"
Yeah, because of you guys.
Because of you guys. Now they're great. They're great.
But what's funny is like you want like the next generation of kids and stuff to be like better than you and smarter and everything. Well, then I got an idea. Fucking pay teachers more money. Like, I'm not trying to be a dick about it. Like, seriously, like, think about this. Like, I mean, like, you get a teacher that starts out for what, 40, 50 grand, like a new teacher. Like, you know what I mean? Like, really? I mean, like, come on. Like, I mean, like, you're educating our youth and that's all you're worth. The mailman makes more than that.
It's crazy. And I've worked both in the private and public sector. And back going like 10 years ago, I was floored realizing when I got my first paycheck. I couldn't believe it. Now, a lot of people think like, oh yeah, the private sector, you make more. It's the exact opposite because, well, one, it's crazy because a lot of these schools, Catholic schools, private schools, they have like crazy tuitions, but the tuitions don't go to those schools. Some of these places have crumbling facilities. It's freaking nuts. One high school had one janitor for the whole freaking school. One urinal out of 10 worked. Where do I take a leak? And it's like there's a line of boys waiting to get in there. The line of girls, like one toilet's working. It's like, what do you what do you do? I mean, like I'm not, when I say one maintenance guy, I am not joking. I'm like, I mean, these people are paying 12,000, and this is back 15 years ago, paying 12,000 a year, 15,000 a year for what? For broken toilets. But for wholesome education. Yeah, I think that, and I know we're off topic a little bit, but I will say in regards to education, I think it's something that we need to invest in. So I mean that's just me, it's something that I have a passion for, and there's days where I hate doing it because of the hand that we're dealt. And I gotta say, and if anybody from my school's watching, I work for a killer district. I actually like my boss. I like the community. They fund us very, very, very well. We are a well-funded district, so I'm very,
that's
very
a
lucky.
Good disclaimer. That's
it is, and you know what?
Great disclaimer.
It took 8 years to get there.
That.
It took 8 years to get there, but that's one thing I'm thankful for because a lot of people don't have that. And when I hear what some of my other, friends are making in other districts, it's like, holy crap! It's like I do extra stuff. You do extra shows, or you do extra, you do chaperoning and stuff. We actually get paid. They actually pay our substitutes better than some of the other districts that get paid for a starting salary. So it's like, it's impressive. So I'm happy is what I'm saying. So that way, that's on the record. Like, oh my gosh. All right. Well, it was great to have you guys. Don't forget to hit the like button, share this video. Brett, any final thoughts? Last comment.
Thanks for having me. There was a lot of good questions. Like I said, I'll always answer whatever I possibly am allowed to, or I know the answer to. I'm never going to make something up that I totally have no idea what I'm talking about. If I know, I'll tell you. If I don't know, I'll say I don't know. So, from, like I said, I'm happy to come on here every couple of weeks and give an update on whatever anybody wants and do this question and answer thing. It's perfectly fine with me. Because I've learned that nowadays what people really want is information. They've always wanted information, but the thing is, remember the OTC markets, people didn't really look for information before. They were someone told them to buy some ticker, and then 1,000 people all bought the ticker at the same time, and it all went up. It's totally different now. People read filings. People, you know what I'm saying? People do real stuff. Do you know what I mean? And it's just changed the game. So I've learned that transparency is king. And look. All transparency isn't positive. Do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes there's bad news, but look, if as an investor, do you think I don't want to know the bad news in the company? Of course I want to know the bad news so I can either help them avoid it or not lose money because of it. Do you know what I mean? So it's the same thing for everyone. That's why when I tell people, when I come on the show and tell people bad news, you're bashing the company. I'm not bashing the company. I'm giving you guys legitimate due diligence, exactly what you don't want to know this. You don't want to know that a company doesn't pay their bills. You don't want to know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Thank you very much.
That was a great final thought. That was a closing argument.
No, I like it, and I honestly, that's why I like doing what we're doing here, because there's times when I'm like, oh yeah, I'm really bullish on this company, and I get a company. You'll never see me bash a company I have on the show. Never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Don't treat people like that. I let you guys decide. Ask the questions. There's a lot of great Twitter spaces out there where you could go and meet, CEOs and ask them questions. But the more you dig, the more you're gonna find. And the more you're gonna find, you're gonna be either more bullish or more bearish or maybe neutral. Maybe you don't want to invest in that. I think you're 100% right. And especially, when you have so much money at stake, when you're talking millions of dollars, you might want to do your due diligence and double, triple check, Yeah. You've seen it happen. But yeah, I think that's what this is all about. And I truly appreciate you sharing your knowledge and being a part of this journey, part of the BFC. You've been a supporter for quite a long time. And thank you very, very much for joining us here.
Thanks, Will, man. Will OS. I learned 99% of what I learned about Cyberlex from him. It's amazing. Yeah,
Will's awesome.
He's amazing.
Great guy. And I'll be shooting him a call this weekend, and we're going to talk. But all right, that's it. This was an excellent show. Hey, Brett, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. It was amazing.
All right, now get this guy out of here. Get him out. All right, well, that was an excellent show. It was great having you guys. Smash the like button. Do it. Join the BFC fam. I want to grow this community. And I just got to say thank you to every single one of you for watching and actually really putting some thoughtful questions out there. That's what this is all about, is doing firsthand due diligence. But that's all we got for tonight. And you know what? Be on the lookout for that ILUS video on the 8th tomorrow, not the 9th. There, I said it. There, I said it, Mr. Samaker. But no, Mr. Wiggles. But yeah, seriously, be on the lookout for the interview with JP Backwell. I'm going to release that sometime tomorrow afternoon. And join me back here on Sunday, where we have Chris Davenport of ticker FLES on. It's going to be freaking awesome. And we're going to do some stock updates, give you some portfolio updates of where I'm at. And that's it. Thank you to every single buddy that's here right now. And that's all I got. And remember, there's more that binds us than breaks us. Peace out, guys.